out there! Sullivan Bard is here, and I got a great little feature in which the cat in the hat is the teacher. Okay, I'm not gonna rhyme throughout the whole video, but in wearing all this, and having some of these books up, I'd like to present one of the most obscure of Dr. Seuss films. After Theodore Seuss Geisel passed away in 1991, his popularity grew immensely during the 90s, with his animated specials being released on VHS from CBS and Fox, Random House releasing Seuss books on VHS in a sort of cutout animation style, Living Books releasing 3 of his books as interactive CD-ROM games, the Jim Henson Company producing an educational TV show featuring Seuss's characters called The Wobbleless World of Dr. Seuss from 1996 to 1998, Turner Entertainment releasing the Hanna-Barbera-produced Daisy Head Maisie, which was an unpublished Seuss story to be released as a book in time with the special in 1995, and just 1 year before, Turner released a made-for-TV documentary on TNT that features a semi-all-star cast, great-looking sets and costumes, and being a really good edutainment movie. And it also has the same likability and weirdness factor that the later Seuss films have. And that very feature is what I'm reviewing today, so get ready for what I'm about to say. It is a film that is so wild and loose, it is simply known as In Search of Dr. Seuss. Newspaper reporter Kathy Lane visits the home of Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss, to get more insight on his life, much to the dismay of the caretaker. But upon opening up a magical book entitled Open Up a Book, Open Up Your Imagination, Kathy opens up the world of Dr. Seuss inside the author's house, revealing the caretaker to be the Cat in the Hat, and the cat explains Seuss's history to Kathy, as she, along the way, comes across other Seuss characters and friends, as they too talk about the author's past. And intertwined within are excerpts of classic Seuss stories, shown as either reenactments, musical numbers, or with clips of animated specials and shorts. This is certainly one of those things that sadly gets overlooked, but it really deserves more attention just based on what it offers. It's really one of the most unique of documentaries that doesn't go the traditional route. There's no interviews of real people, there's no one celebrity narration, and most of the real-world problems are mostly a side note, yet hinted at here and there. All it does is go over Seuss's history in a very fun and memorable way, usually combining the facts we thought we knew with information that we didn't know. And the way the movie talks and shows these facts are simple, engaging, and not overly boring. Once in a while, some facts might be slightly incorrect or questionable, but the movie's pretty enjoyable at being entertaining and educational that I could just accept it, even if I might know a thing or two that this film didn't. Yet what makes this documentary stand out from all others is the presentation. Everything on Dr. Seuss is all over the film in bright colors and wacky situations. It has great sets and costumes that reflect the Seuss style from the books and animated shows, there's the classic stories being presented in various ways, and there's other Seuss characters thrown in from books and even original ones. The Seuss books and stories being told have many variations, though they're mostly excerpts and edited for time, and a few of the segments were redubbed and even reworked from the original. Horton Hatches the Egg, which uses the 1942 cartoon by Bob Clampett, had its characters redubbed by Frank Welker. The Butter Battle book, which uses the 1989 special by Ralph Bakshi, had some lines reorganized and changed from the original special, as well as redubbed by the original cast. And Hitler Lives, the 1945 short documentary written by Ted Geisel and then-wife Helen, was redubbed, of course, by Frank Welker. And it's interesting how the Mulberry Street segment, which uses the 1944 Puppet Tune short by George Powell, is the only version to feature the animated portion, because since all the other segments are available on their own, Mulberry never got a home video release and is pretty much lost, along with another Seuss Puppet Tune short, The 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins. The other stories were retold through live action, and each one had different ways of telling them. Yodel the Turtle and All the Places You'll Go were done as musical numbers, with Yodel done as a gospel and sing-along and looks like it belongs in Seussical the Musical, and Places You'll Go done as a dance and duet by Kathy and the Cat in the Hat. Others like Green Eggs and Ham, The Cat in the Hat, and McElligot's Pool are told in different ways, with Cat in the Hat read by a father to his 2 daughters, Green Eggs and Ham told as a choreographed segment with Stanley Young dancers handling the setting and Kathy refusing the food, and McElligot's Pool told as an exact live-action adaptation of the book, from the poses to the look. But as much as I like the whole film, its style of humor is pretty drab. Some of the jokes didn't get to me, others were unfunny, and most of it is childish. But that just might be how it is. Even Kathy's dance movements are really odd, and she sometimes feels confused and unfocused. Yet, I wouldn't blame her, as the director is one of the choreographers, so take it for what it's worth. And the opening song, In Search of Dr. Seuss, is really catchy and fun. Of course, one or two lyrics are hard to get, but it was very enjoyable and is somehow credited as Circus McGurk is singing it. I have no idea why that is, other than it's related to Seuss, so let's just finish up. And the semi-all-star cast in this are very enjoyable. Kathy Nagini plays Kathy Lane, Matt Frewer plays the Cat in the Hat, Christopher Lloyd plays Mr. Hunch, Patrick Stewart plays Sergeant Mulvaney, Robin Williams plays the father, David Paymer plays the ad man, Andrea Martin plays the ad woman, J.D. Daniels plays Marco from Mulberry Street, Zelda Williams and Eleanor Columbus plays as the daughters, Graham Jarvis plays the farmer, Bradley Blum plays Marco from McElligot's Pool, Andre Crouch plays Yordle the Turtle, Bright Eyes plays Mac, Elaine Brennan plays the Whoville, Howie Mandel voices Sam I Am, and Billy Crystal voices the Voice of America Radio. As a whole, this documentary is pretty enjoyable. The characters are pretty fun, the setup is entertaining, the songs, though very few, are pretty catchy, and the education factor is very good. Director Vincent Patterson had done a great job of making a documentary on Dr. Seuss that really deserves more attention and in some ways is a better live-action Seuss film. Though sometimes I wish there was more information on Dr. Seuss, and the comedy it has is rather childish, dull, or unfunny. But the set designs and costumes look wonderful, the all-star cast is pretty nice, the take on popular stories are interesting, the edutainment portion is really enjoyable, and it's all done in the name of Dr. Seuss. And I really like all that there is. So today, in wrapping this review of ours, this documentary gets the rating of 3 stars. So that is it, and thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, it's all for free. So follow me in the links in the description, and do not worry, there's no need for encryption. And tune in next time for a new video, and with all that is said, cheerio.